In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the 501st Legion Clone Trooper for the Vintage Collection, and this is the updated version of him with the newest clone tooling. I plan on getting at least a dozen of these guys at some point, but I figure I start with one and then just pick up one or two here and there, and eventually I'll get there. Plus, I like to just start with one sample and see what the action figure's like before I go all in for them. But of course, this is probably going to be the definitive 501st Clone Trooper, and it is the second release of him actually, the first being in the Troop Builder set with the Ahsoka clone and then two of the plain white Phase 2 clones. But there is a difference between this release and that one. The other one has more of a matte finish and more of a plain faded blue color, while this one has a much more deeper and more of a shiny blue color. I prefer the blue for this 501st clone here, so that's probably the one I'm going to army build. So we have the package here. Have the interesting they sourced this from the Obi-Wan show. Perhaps in the future they'll do one for Revenge of the Sith as well. Clone Trooper 501st Legion. Hasbro counted this as like a repack, so they went back to VC 240. But as we know now, with characters like Dengar, who's like VC 1A now for the re-release, they probably should have done that for this action figure as well. Led by Captain Rex, the 501st Legion is a tight-knit squadron of clone troopers known for strength of character and unwavering loyalty. This is probably sourced from the Dave Filoni series. And let's just take a closer look at him. It's definitely one of the best Clone Trooper sculpts out there. Of course, the other 501st clones here, I'm a big fan of all three of these sculpts for their own way. And of course, this is a great one as well. Paint looks good. Looks like it's applied cleanly. The visor is not off or anything like that. The blue on the helmet lines up perfectly, or close to it. The blue looks good on him all around. You do have the blue around the wrist here, which I think is more specific to Revenge of the Sith clone, actually. Because we know it's not the case here. But unlike the antenna mold, for instance, it is there. And same for the Tactical Ops clone. The blue stripes going down his legs. It's super articulated, exactly what you'd expect from a TVC action figure these days. Joints all feel really good. In terms of weapons and accessories, it just has the basics, the DC-15 carbine, which is probably what I'm going to have them displayed with, since we don't really see the 501st clones with like the regular rifle, for instance. But Hasbro was generous enough to include one as well. And let's just take a closer look at all four of these guys side by side. I do have individual videos for all three of these ones here. So we have the original from the Revenge of the Sith line, who was named as the Tactical Ops clone, but is just a 501st clone. Then we have the antenna mold. Then we have the TVC 1.0 mold, and then now the newest one. There are other ones as well, but these are probably the main ones that people usually seek out. As I mentioned, I'm a big fan of all four of these molds for different reasons. Like, I think the original from Revenge of the Sith has some of the best leg articulation I've ever seen. The hip articulation, I would argue, is even better than the ones with the barbell hips even. It's just really fluid, and you can get a great range of motion for it. The antenna mold, I think from an aesthetic standpoint, is still one of the best. The TVC 1.0 mold has its own charm to it. I've always liked the mold. I think it works better for Phase 1 clones, but still looks pretty good for the Phase 2 clones here, I think. And of course, I have a whole bunch of it. But then we have this newest one here, which will probably be the definitive clone trooper mold going forward. There's really not a whole lot more they can improve upon with it. But who knows? Technology is always improving, and there might be something that Hasbro can improve upon in the future that most of us aren't really seeing today. But who knows? We'll see what the future brings. But I think that's all I can really tell you initially about the 501st clone, the newest one. As I mentioned, I do plan on getting more in the future, and I'll probably do more videos featuring those. And of course featuring this guy as well. Lots more scenes to set up. If you haven't already, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate your support, and check out the links in the description if you haven't done so already. And as always, thanks for watching.